The Trump administration launched a major military attack on Venezuela on Saturday morning, bombing facilities and capturing leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife and flying them to the United States to face charges. President Donald Trump said the U.S. will temporarily run Venezuela and work to tap the country's massive oil reserves. "We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper and judicious transition to new leadership," Trump said at a news conference in Florida. He didn't provide more detail about how the U.S. would control Venezuela, saying a group of officials would be named to oversee it. Trump said he didn't want a new leader to take over in the wake of Maduro's capture, who would result in the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. Follow live coverage. "We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind," he said. Trump added that the U.S. military was prepared to strike Venezuela again if needed. "We are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we need to do so," he added. After reporters asked whether the U.S. running Venezuela will involve military personnel on the ground, Trump said, "We're not afraid of boots on the ground. We don't mind saying it, but we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain," he added. Asked later Saturday whether he was prepared to have troops on the ground in Venezuela, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told CBS News that Trump would set the terms, and ultimately, he'll decide what the iterations are of that. "We're going to control what happens next. Because of this brave decision, President Trump has shown American leadership, and he'll be able to dictate where we go next," he said. Trump confirmed at the news conference that Maduro and his wife were en route to New York, where, he said, Maduro had been indicted. Maduro arrived in New York on Saturday afternoon and could appear in court as early as Monday. Trump said that Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez was sworn in as president just a little while ago, and that she had a gracious conversation with Secretary of State Marco Rubio to offer her support. But on state television later, Rodriguez told the Venezuelan public, "We demand the immediate liberation of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores," calling Maduro the only president of Venezuela. Trump's remarks were delivered at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, where he was flanked by some of his top advisors, including Rubio, Hegseth and General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The military operation, which officials said had been planned for months and took several hours, is the latest move that the Trump administration has described as part of a crackdown on drugs entering the U.S. It comes just weeks before the first anniversary of Trump's second inauguration. Two U.S. officials familiar with the planning told NBC News on Saturday that Trump approved the military and law enforcement actions in Venezuela more than a week ago. In remarks Saturday, Kane confirmed that military forces waited over a week for the weather to clear up. Weather in Venezuela is always a factor this time of the year, and over the weeks through Christmas and New Year's, the men and women of the United States military sat ready, patiently waiting for the right triggers to be met and the president to order us into action, Kane told reporters. Last night, the weather broke just enough, clearing a path that only the most skilled aviators in the world could maneuver through, he said. Kane said that Trump gave the order to go at 10:46 p.m. ET Friday and that military forces arrived at Maduro's compound by 1:01 a.m. ET Saturday. By 3:29 a.m. Saturday, Kane said, the military forces were back over water with Maduro and Flores. Trump, who said he watched the operation unfold live from Mar-a-Lago, said Maduro was trying to get into a safe place, made of steel as U.S. military forces stormed his compound.